This is a plot of land. It's just a low-grade spirit field that can only grow basic spirit rice. Over the course of time, it will turn into wasteland. That's its ultimate fate. But the moment I saw it, I spent all my savings to rent it. Later on, I planted it full of cheap, ordinary spirit rice. People secretly mocked you for being a fool. But what they don't know is, while you harvest spirit rice, you can also gain things they can't see. At this moment, dawn is just breaking. You were woken up by noise from next door. With your eyes bloodshot and red, you grumble and push open the wooden door. Carry your spirit kitchen gear and get ready to head out. A nameless anger suddenly boils inside you again. The female cultivator next door made way too much noise last night. Good people couldn't sleep all night. You grit your teeth and secretly swear that when you have snacks, the first thing you'll do is set up a soundproofing formation. The soundproofing in this dump is absolutely terrible. Last night, you wanted to meditate and practice, but the noise totally distracted you. Your energy surged. You almost lost control of your cultivation. With no choice, you angrily chanted the Serenity Sutra all night. And now, thinking about having to work the spirit fields today, your mood completely collapsed. You've been transmigrated for 5 years now. Still trying to cultivate immortality here. Can't even get a good night's sleep. You used to think cultivating was all about flying, swordplay, and epic battles. But you're just an unlucky guy with zero talent in all 4 elements. Your family treated you as discarded and sent you off to this dump in Fuyao. Year after year, stuck at key refining level 2 for 60 years. No hope for the immortal path. Your only job is to be a linglong, farming at the rear base, and today just happens to be harvest day for spirit rice. But there's not a trace of joy on your face. Instead, you're anxious and uneasy, because a good harvest means it's time for taxes. Halfway there, an elder-looking cultivator pops out of an alley. It's your neighbor, Tsaila Oju. He's at key refining level 4, higher than you. You force a smile and greet him, then sigh. You lament that your spirit rain technique might not get you much yield this year. Tsaila Oju chuckles and says he'll drink at Jukshuan Pavilion after paying taxes. You shake your head and refuse mostly because you're broke. Tsaila Oju clicks his tongue and says you're no fun. Live for the moment, drink when the wine's here. You immediately retort, sure. You buy and he curses you right there. After some banter, you arrive at your destination. On the hillside, hundreds of acres of forest fields are spread out like steps. Golden grains sway in the breeze. You both go to your own fields and start working. But as you look at your own field, with half an acre of lush green rice seedlings, the corners of your mouth twitch uncontrollably. It looks totally out of place among all the golden fields around. Anyone would think you're growing scallions. That's the result of your half-baked spirit rain technique. Uneven rainfall, so a low yield is guaranteed. You feel distressed, but still swing your spirit sickle and start harvesting. As sunset falls, you finally bag the spirit rice, exhausted like a dead dog. Suddenly, you hear the sound of a magic tool slicing through the air. Your heart clenches. You look up. A green leaf magic boat slowly descends. A chubby guy with a big belly walks off the boat. That's Du Haifu. He's the overseer of these fields. King of the Linglong farmers like you. Du Haifu comes over grinning, picks up a handful of rice, tastes it, and says it's good quality. Then he takes out his soybean magic tool and starts weighing. 2 markets, 80 jin. 70% tax. You owe 196 jin. Then he frowns and asks why it's even less than last season. Du Haifu's smile disappears instantly, and his eyes turn cold. Your heart skips a beat. You quickly reach into your pocket and pull out a small brocade pouch with most of your savings. Hand it over with a forced smile, saying there was a little problem with your field. The missing amount will be covered with snacks. Du Haifu weighs the pouch, and his expression softens a little. But he still warns you, just this once. Don't make it a habit. He collects your spirit rice into his storage bag. But then, before leaving, he suddenly gives you a meaningful look. He says, "Do you know how much Saila Oju paid? It's more than double yours." Let me remind you. This year, the elders in charge will tally the tax rankings. The last 10 will be sent to the frontline battle camp. With that, he sails off on his magic boat, leaving you standing there in shock. Your mind is filled with just one thing: sent to battle camp. Night falls. You return to your hut, close the door, and throw yourself onto the bed, like a dead dog. Mind in turmoil. That battle camp is a meat grinder for DJ cultivators. With your weak cultivation, you would just be cannon fodder. Only one thought in your mind: you refuse to be cannon fodder. It's unbearable, really unbearable. You keep thinking it over. Fatigue washes over you, and you drift off into a hazy sleep. Landing. A brilliant light bursts deep inside your soul. You have an incredibly long dream. Next morning, you wake up with a throbbing headache. Groggy, you walk to the flower bed in the yard, ready to wash up. The flower bed has dozens of bellflower plants, used for practicing spirit language technique. But when you look up, you're totally stunned. On 3 of the bellflowers, suddenly appear golden lines of text. Name: Premium Spirit Rice. Attribute: Ripen, can be harvested. The other 2 show Ultimate Domain 5 uses and Weak Magic Power, respectively. All 3 are ready to harvest. You rub your eyes hard. Can't believe it. Woke up too fast, hallucinating. You stare fiercely at those 3 lines of golden text, and after repeatedly confirming it's not a hallucination, a wave of joy surges from deep inside you. A golden finger. The golden finger delayed for 5 years has finally arrived. Your immortal path hopes, once extinguished, are rekindled at this moment. Suppressing your excitement, you carefully get close and pinch off the 3 spirit Tao plants at the root. As soon as you collect them, 3 rays of light flash from the spirit rice and turn into 3 leaves resting quietly in your spiritual sea. You quickly return inside and close the door. Sit cross-legged on the bed. Focus your mind and tap the white leaf labeled Weak Magic Power. Instantly, a surge of pure spiritual power far beyond your expectations erupts inside your danshan. You are startled and quickly channel your evergreen palace skill to refine it. It's supposed to be weak magic power, but it's unbelievably potent. A long while later, while sensing your danshan now strengthened a bit, joy fills your face. This is worth 3 months of hard cultivation. The bottleneck at key refining level 2 that's bothered you so long now finally shows signs of breaking. If I could get a few more like that, breaking through the 3rd level would be just around the corner. You force yourself to stay calm. Stay steady, don't get carried away. You have to hold your ground. You decide to stick to your usual routine for now. Can't let anyone notice anything unusual. After you finish eating, you head to your spirit field as usual. You walk around it. You discover a pattern. Only the lingi you plant by hand have a chance of showing a magnetic stripe, but the probability is extremely low. In your half-acre of unripe spiritual field, thousands upon thousands of rice seedlings yielded only 1 with a faintly glowing magnetic stripe. But your yard produced 3 in one go. That's just crazy lucky. You check to make sure no one is around. Without further hesitation, Du Haifu's words hang over you like a sword. You have to strengthen yourself as quickly as possible. Let's try speeding up that half-acre first. You take a deep breath, focus your mind, and use up both the ripening entry and an ultimate spirit incantation at the same time. You form a hand sign and point toward the half-acre of spirit field. Boom! A cloud far denser than usual gathers in the sky above. A torrential spirit rain pours down. This is the ultimate spirit rain incantation. You are deeply shaken. You feel the smooth and unobstructed spiritual power and such efficient control of the world's spiritual energy. A sudden realization comes to you. So this is what makes the difference. This rain shower lasts for a full stick of incense. Although your face is pale, you are more confident than ever. The results show instantly. In just half a day, that half-acre of spiritual rice grows wildly. By evening, it was already time to harvest. The incredible speed takes your breath away. Early the next morning, when you return, the half-acre of spiritual rice has matured completely. Shining golden. Both the yield and quality have improved by more than 20%. And that stalk with the magnetic stripe was also harvested by you, becoming part of your cultivation. You feel delighted inside and full of hope for the future. In the blink of an eye, half a month passes. During this time, you rented 2 more acres from Du Haifu. You've now planted all 5 acres with spiritual rice. All the ultimate spirit rain entries you have left are making you understand this spell more and more deeply. It looks like you'll master it on your own soon. Now that you have some extra harvest, you can finally relax a little. Today, you're planning to visit the Fang market. There are 2 things you have to buy: a storage pouch, and second, a soundproof array. You change into clean clothes, shoulder a bag of spiritual rice, and head out. As soon as you reach the main road, you bump into 2 people. A man, the only high-level foundation cultivator in this shantytown, fellow Taoist Long, and the woman holding his arm is your next-door neighbor, Li Yanli. You quickly set down the rice bag and greet them respectfully with a cupped fist salute. Fellow Taoist Long just grunts a response through his nose and walks straight past you with Li Yanli, never looking at you the whole time. In front of a low level like you, he has every right to be proud. You don't care. You just watch them leave, sighing in your heart. Looks like it's going to be another rough night tonight. This makes your determination to buy the soundproof array even stronger. Soon after, you arrive at the back door of a shop in the center of the market. This is a place introduced by old Tsai the Ninth, safe and reliable. You go straight to the point and offer to sell your rice essence to the shopkeeper. 108 jin of spiritual rice. Market price is 1 low-grade spirit stone for 5 jin. What do you think, fellow Taoist? Deal? You agree without hesitation. You get 21 spirit stones and a few broken spirit crystals. By the way, do you have soundproof arrays here? You ask, holding your not yet warmed spirit stones. The shopkeeper answers yes. DJ soundproof array, 10 spirit stones, low-grade spirit stones. You grit your teeth and say, I'll buy a storage pouch too. Can you give me a discount? Shopkeeper says storage pouch is 12 stones, 22 stones total. I'll knock 1 off for you, so 21 stones. Transaction complete. You leave the shop, feeling your empty money pouch, and can't help but sigh. All the money you make gets spent right away. Not a single coin makes it home. Still, seeing the brand new storage pouch on your belt, you believe these little profits will soon multiply hundreds or thousands of times over. You return home, and as soon as the soundproof array is set up, the whole world goes instantly quiet. From now on, no matter what chaos happens next door, it'll never disturb your peace again. You let out a deep breath. Next, all your focus is on those 5 acres of spiritual farmland. After all, your future and your life depend on it. So 10 days later, when the rice seedlings sprout lush and green in the field, you're the first to rush over. The thing you care about most is what new entries will appear this time. With a glance, 4 glowing spots stand out. 2 have faint spiritual power. 1 is beast repelling spell, 5 uses, and the last is mother seed beast fang rice. You're excited. Besides the old friend, faint spiritual power, there are actually 2 new ones. Unfortunately, still no ripening entry. You click your tongue, a bit disappointed. As for the beast repelling spell, you're familiar with it. It's the spirit technique that drives away beasts that eat crops. But it's notoriously hard to master, even trickier than the spirit feather incantation. Very few people can use it. The 5 uses at the end of the entry obviously mean it can be used 5 times. Immediately, your gaze locks onto the last entry. Beast Fang Rice?
Damn.
That name sounds familiar. You furrow your brow, searching your memory like crazy. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration strikes you, remember. You slap your storage pouch, and an old booklet pops out. It was issued to you by the sect, covering the spiritual plants for new disciples like you. You flip quickly to the last few pages and find Beast Fang rice, a tier 1, low-grade spirit plant. The grains look like wild beast fangs, pure white and shiny. Eating it not only boosts blood and strengthens muscles and bones, it also contains 5 times more spiritual energy than ordinary essence rice. This kind of thing isn't some common essence rice, but a genuine low-grade lingi, especially for body-refining cultivators. As soon as it hits the market, it'll be snatched up immediately. Of course, the better it is, the harder it is to grow. The cultivation requirements are extremely strict, and you have to irrigate it with the ultimate spirit rain incantation regularly. Plus, the cycle is unbelievably long, with the shortest taking 2 years to ripen. The yields are also low. The price is 10 times that of essence rice, and the seeds are outrageously expensive. There's even a line in red at the end of the booklet. Special notice, anyone who successfully cultivates Beast Fang rice, tax will be reduced by half. This means it impacts the qualification for first-tier spiritual herb grower. If you can grow a lower-grade first-tier spiritual plant, then it means you qualify to attempt becoming a first-tier spiritual herb grower. That status is a world apart from the miserable bottom rung you are now, pushed around by everyone. They're totally different. The seeds for Beast Fang rice are a windfall this time. You're so excited you nearly jump up. Now these 5 acres have become your lifeline. You need to guard them even more closely than your eyes. In just over 3 months, it's time for tax collection. That's the real checkpoint of life and death. Whether you survive depends on this. So you don't dare slack off. You carefully weeded the entire field, then used your last ultimate spirit feather technique. And so the days pass, one after another. You work tirelessly, like an ox. Every day, aside from tending the spiritual fields, all your time is spent mastering Palace of Eternal Spring and Spirit Feather technique. After personally experiencing 5 perfect uses of Ultimate Spirit Feather technique, your mind's grasp of the spell gets clearer and clearer. Finally, one day after a month, you stand on the ridge, looking up at the sky, seeing the spiritual feathers covering all 5 acres. You are overjoyed. You've mastered the Ultimate Spirit Feather technique. From today on, even if you lost the spell token, you can still cast it with your own skill. However, your key condensation stage 2 power is just too little. Even so, for the sake of yield, you're going all out. Every time you cast Ultimate Rain technique, you drain even the last bit of power from your danshin to make sure it rains 2 to 3 times a week. You come back from the field each time looking pale, like a succubus sucked you dry, barely able to walk without holding the wall. Now there's trouble. All the neighbors look at you differently, teasing you in every way, asking if you're helping out Li and Li next door every day. All you can do is just give a sheepish smile. Can't be bothered to explain. What's the point explaining anything? It's better to just focus on farming. Looking at the rice ears growing fuller every day, your heart finally feels at ease. Your hard work really paid off. In a flash, over 2 months pass. Jade rice is ripe. This time you harvest 4 bell stalks with magnetic stripes. 4 shimmering glowing leaves. Instantly merge with your spiritual mind. Right after, it's time to harvest. Supervisor Du Haifu stands with hands behind his back, patrolling the ridge like a foreman, supervising everyone. When it's your turn, Du Haifu is surprised by your field. Stunned for a moment, rare for him. Looking out at your 5 acres, the golden rice stalks are heavy, every stalk nearly bursting with fullness. You've mastered Ultimate Spirit Feather. Amazing, Du Haifu turns around, looking at you with scrutiny. After a while, he even shows a trace of appreciation. You lower your head and say you got lucky a few days back. He nods and tells you to start harvesting. You instantly go to work efficiently, the whole day long, so tired your back is about to break. You end up with 8 big bags of spiritual rice. Du Haifu begins weighing it. 8 bags at 20 jin each. 70% will be collected as tax. That's a total of 574 jin. Right, as he finishes speaking, suddenly a giant magical airship arrives overhead with a roar, hovering steadily in midair. At the bow, a blue-robed, stern elder stands, hands behind his back. Behind him, 7 or 8 outer disciples stand respectfully. Du Haifu sees the man, and immediately changes his demeanor completely, bowing and fawning as he greets him. Greetings, GUZ. All the local tax for this year has been collected. Please review. He carefully hands over a jade slip. You also quickly bow your head. This GU steward is clearly Du Haifu's direct superior. His presence is so overwhelming no one dares lift their head. GU steward takes the jade slip, glances at it, then orders his disciples to gather all 300 plus linglongs together. Old Tai Nine squeezes over to your side from the crowd, making faces at you. Asking how your harvest went, you vaguely say it was alright. Then counter asking why he never bragged after making a fortune last season. Old Sai's eyes dart around, clearly feeling guilty. Just then, GU steward on the airship speaks, his voice completely emotionless, but booms in everyone's ears like a thunderclap. The tax for all 3 seasons has now been collected. Now announcing a sect order. The bottom 10 in total polished rice yield this year are to be conscripted into the frontline war camp. No one is allowed to refuse. The crowd instantly erupts, everyone filled with dread and anxiety. GU steward gives a cold snort. His overwhelming key condensation pressure explodes outward. The place instantly falls silent. The rankings for all 3 seasons are right here. Check for yourselves, he says. A disciple beside him casts a spell. A giant screen of light unfolds in the air. Names and numbers densely packed and crystal clear. You quickly look up for your name. Ranked 156, you let out a long sigh of relief. Your tense heart finally settles down. You're safe in the middle tier. How is this possible? 8 bags of 20 jin each. Old Sai 9 beside you exclaims. You follow his gaze and see a dramatic scene play out. Right below your name, ranked 157, is Sai Juwu. He's in the slot right after you. Bear in mind his yield beat you the first 2 seasons. Who could have guessed? Your 3rd season's yield would blow his away, raising your annual average, and having you narrowly overtake him. The bottom 10. Get on the ship and come with me. Wuzi's cold voice calls again. Those 10 immediately go pale as death. They don't dare resist, and can only shuffle on board like the walking dead. Let's hope you all do better next year, and contribute more to the sect. GU steward leaves with one last message. Next year, the exile quota for the war camp will be the bottom 30. That announcement chills every survivor, like a bucket of ice water dumped over them. You feel heavy-hearted as well. This was a surprise attack, catching everyone completely off guard. After this development, all linglongs will definitely be fighting tooth and nail next year. It will be a battle to the death, who'd want to be cannon fodder on the front lines. You look at the 4 magnetic leaves in your spiritual sea, feeling all sorts of emotions. If it was before, mastering ultimate spirit feather technique in half a year would only be a pipe dream. But now, not only did you do it, you still have over 250 jin of fine spirit rice left. After selling it, you'll be able to save up some spirit stones. With spirit stones, in this cutthroat place, you have a better shot at staying alive. But your cultivation is still far too low. And you're well aware of that. Extracting mana at such high intensity, over time will definitely damage the meridians. Not to mention now you have beast tooth rice seeds. If you want to plant it, key refining stage 3 is the absolute minimum requirement. I wonder if those 2 weak mana threads can help me break through this bottleneck. No, I have to farm even harder. I must trigger the maturity thread. You've made up your mind. To break through key refining stage 3, you return to your quiet little house. Sit cross-legged on the meditation mat. Hold a low-grade spirit stone in your hand. Begin channeling your energy. Moments later, you open your eyes, looking at the spirit stone that has turned to powder in your palm. Your face looks a bit troubled. Cultivating with spirit stones, with my lousy spiritual roots, is pure waste. You shake your head. Threads are way better. No need for conversion at all. You steady your mind. Prepare to use those 2 weak mana threads. These 2 threads are equal to half a year's honest cultivation. With a thought, the first leaf turns into warm current flowing into your body. Even though you're used to it, that surging flood of mana still makes your body tremble. You immediately guide the mana along the Changchun Palace route. Changchun Palace is your family's cultivation method. It's generic, not much power. Cultivation speed is slow as a turtle. The only advantage is health preservation. Lets you live a few years longer than cultivators at the same stage. Mana is a bit richer too. In the past, you always thought farming and health preservation were fine. But now you realize resources are limited. If you don't fight or compete, you'll just be stuck at the bottom and wear out. After a long while, the weak mana thread is depleted. But your bottleneck layer remains firmly intact. You furrow your brow. Expression turns serious. You grit your teeth and use up the last weak mana thread. After another long wait, both threads are used up, but you still couldn't break through. You can't help but sigh. That's the gap of talent. Just one step away from peak key refining stage 2. But just can't break through. If I had better spiritual roots, with this much mana flowing in, I'd have broken through long ago. Still, you're not too disheartened, compared to that hopeless feeling from before. It's a lot better now. Can't just wait around anymore. Need to change my thinking. Consider physical training for self-preservation first. Once I grow beast tooth rice, can try body cultivation. At least I'd have more ways to protect myself. But to plant Shouya rice, you need the maturity trait to work together. Otherwise, just one failure. The mother seed is gone. Back at grandma's house. You ponder carefully and form a vague plan in your mind. So early the next morning after breakfast, you head to Qingyang again. Market drama pavilion in the city. You place 220 jin of jinling rice in front of shopkeeper Liao. Shopkeeper Liao sees so much rice. His eyes light up significantly. He's obviously much more enthusiastic toward you. A total of 44 spirit stones. Friend Qin, you came prepared. You pull out a drawing with a little bell on it and say, I want to custom order a lifespan bell for beast-repelling techniques. Shopkeeper Liao recognizes it at a glance. What a coincidence, we have it in stock. Low-grade magic item costs 10 spirit stones. You're stunned for a moment. That cheap? Shopkeeper Liao chuckles. The key is the technique is hard to master. The middle finger is just for show. Many from the battle camp ordered it before, but few actually mastered it, so no one buys it. You instantly get it. Pay 10 spirit stones on the spot. Put away the palm-sized spirit bell and ask casually, do you have pills to boost cultivation? You're still not giving up on breaking through. Shopkeeper Liao invites you to the 3rd floor. A while later, you walk out looking unfazed, with the remaining 34 spirit stones in your pocket, but couldn't spend a single one, since the cheapest pill on the 3rd floor was priced at 60 spirit stones. Poverty is a disease. On the way back, you stop by Mrs. Duhai's, wanting to rent another acre of spiritual farmland. With your current cultivation, 5 or 6 acres is already the max. But Mrs. Duhai tells you you're too late. The last piece of farmland on the mountain has already been rented out. Your heart skips a beat. Just as I guessed. Next year, everyone will fight to survive. In the blink of an eye, it's winter. Yun's Dawan's winters are especially cold. The Shanti area is getting light snow. This is a rest period on day 0. Also a rare opportunity for you to catch your breath. Early this morning, you were clearing snow at the door. The wooden door next door opens. Yan Li walked out wearing an eye-catching pink floral jacket. That unique scent of rouge on her drifted over mixed with the cold air. You smiled and greeted her. She smiled back with her lips pressed together. Her gaze lingered on you for a moment. She asked if your harvest was good last season, and if you earned a lot of snacks. You replied modestly that it was just luck. You were just about to head back inside, but she suddenly called out to you. A hint of shyness appeared on her face. She lowered her voice a bit, looking a little embarrassed. She said things were a bit too rowdy on her side the other day, and she disturbed you. If you don't mind, please come in for a while. Sis will make you something tasty. Take it as an apology. You were completely stunned by her straightforward invitation. Your weathered face flushed bright red in an instant. At your age, full of youthful energy, how could anyone resist this kind of test? Your mind buzzed loudly. Your resolve immediately began to waver. But right at that moment, a strong and imposing figure suddenly flashed through your mind. That cultivator long at level 8 key refining. Too risky to mess with. You instantly lost your nerve. Whatever restless feelings you had were quickly doused with cold water. You scratched your head awkwardly and said your back hurt from turning the fields lately. Without another word, you slipped right back inside. Really disrupts my cultivation state. You quickly splashed some cold water on your face. Just then, there came a loud knock at the door. Your heart skipped a beat. No way, she really came to my door. Since it's come to this, today I'll just go all in. You took a deep breath and yanked the door open. But it was old Sai Laju standing there instead. He was holding 2 packages, grinning from ear to ear. But when he saw you, he was taken aback. Why is it you? You blurted out instinctively, and Sai Laoju's smile froze. He immediately got upset. He said he kindly brought you a jug of sweet potato spirit, but you don't appreciate it. He turned to leave right away. You quickly pulled him back. You awkwardly explained that's not what you meant, and hurried him inside. Sai Laoju shoved a jar of liquor into your arms, then grumbled, asking if you knew a new neighbor had moved in nearby. But you didn't know. You looked completely lost. He shook his head in disappointment, saying a few days ago, a cultivator moved into the alley. A real certified alchemist. Alchemist? Your heart skipped a beat. Among cultivators, alchemists are beyond valuable. Their status is extremely prestigious. After all, no cultivator can go without pills. Why would such a big shot move into our rundown place? You asked, puzzled. Sai Laoju rushed you, telling you to hurry up and prepare a welcome gift. Let's go visit together. Get to know his face, at least. A moment later, you both arrived at the door. A young man in white, about 20 years old, opened it. Level 5 key refining. Much stronger than either of you. You both introduced yourselves and offered gifts. You brought 5 pounds of spirit rice. Sai Laoju added a jug of wine. The young man in white introduced himself as Su Yuking. After accepting the gifts, he gave each of you a jade bottle in return. You opened yours to see. There was a key recovery pill inside. It sells for 5 spirit stones on the market. You and Sai Laoju exchanged glances, both feeling your faces burn with embarrassment. His return gift was worth more than both of yours combined. I am indeed an alchemist, Su Yuking said after sitting down. His tone was calm, but laced with pride.
He said he'd just broken through to a mid-grade, first-tier alchemist not long ago.
And came out for a change of pace. Mid-grade, first-tier alchemist. You and Sai Laoju shot to your feet, hastily bowing. Our apologies. We were too abrupt. We overstepped, you both said. People of his caliber are honored guests everywhere. Low-level folks like you two are totally out of his league. Alchemist Su accepted your salute calmly, waving his hand, and invited you to sit down. Just then, another person entered from outside. You turned to look, your pupils instantly shrinking. It was none other than Taoist Long. Alchemist Su immediately got up to welcome him, clearly treating him much more warmly than you two. Taoist Long was also extremely respectful. After exchanging greetings, right in front of you, he presented 2 jade boxes as a greeting gift. A mid-tier demon beast core, and Juanling grass. At last, a genuine smile appeared on Alchemist Su's face. He turned over an intricate jade bottle and handed it over. 2 spirit-gathering pills. Even late-stage cultivators could benefit from them. After that, Alchemist Su and Taoist Long began to chat enthusiastically, moving from alchemy to cultivation, striking up a quick rapport. The whole time, they completely ignored you and Sai Laoju. The two of you sat there like awkward statues, not knowing whether to sit or stand. After about 15 minutes, you and Sai Laoju slipped away, embarrassed. Both your faces looked awful. You couldn't help but complain. That was way too forward. Why didn't you warn me earlier that he's a mid-grade alchemist? Sai Laoju looked just as frustrated, saying how could he have known? Next time something like this happens, don't call me along. You grumbled, feeling all blocked up inside. The seasons turned, and spring came again. Your 5 acres of fields had all been tilled. You planted a new crop of spirit rice. This time, You decided to use your precious hidden stash of Shouya rice seeds. It felt like putting your whole fortune on the line for a huge gamble. There were just enough seeds in the packet to plant exactly 1 acre. That year, the whole place was tense with rivalry. Everyone on the mountain was as fired up as if they'd been injected with stimulants, giving it everything they had. No one wanted to fall behind for even a moment. Du Haifu walked around the mountaintop, looked at the scene, and nodded in satisfaction. But time waits for no one. Another 2 months passed in a flash. You sat on the edge of your field, staring at your crops, your face long as a mule's. The good news was, thanks to your increasing mastery of the ultimate spirit field technique, your 4 acres of elf rice were thriving, and even spawned 3 new traits. One of them was the ripening boost you'd been dreaming of. The other 2 granted weak mana resistance. But the bad news stung just as much. The acre of Shouya rice you pinned all your hopes on didn't show the slightest sign of life. Not a single blade was growing. What on earth went wrong? You scratched your head in frustration. You were sure you planted it exactly as the book said. You didn't skimp on anything. Is this really going to wipe out all my savings? Another 2 months went by. The first spirit rice harvest of the year was done. But that acre of Shouya rice was still just a bare patch. You harvested 7,030 pounds of elf rice and gained a green ripening trait in your inventory, along with 2 white minor mana resistance traits. But your ranking had already dropped out of the top 200. When Du Haifu found out, he didn't scold you. Instead, he put on an air of deep seriousness. He told you that it would be better to just honestly grow spirit rice. Insisted on messing around with Shouya rice, a total waste of snacks. That stuff is hard for anyone to grow, let alone you. Even first-tier spirit plant masters in the sect haven't had much success with it. Young people shouldn't aim too high. You felt annoyed by his words, but could only force a smile. Now, you don't worry about rankings. With the passive skill in hand, you feel confident. But this Shouya rice still makes you feel unwilling. Should you use your only ripening passive or not? If you use it and it still doesn't grow, it would be a total loss. Finally, on a dead silent afternoon, you grit your teeth and cast it over that barren patch of land. You use up that precious ripening passive. You stare intently at the ground. Time ticks by, second by second. Just when you're about to lose hope, a tender green sprout suddenly bursts through the soil. Your eyes light up instantly. Your anxious heart finally settles down. Your whole body sags with relief. And then, that tender seedling seems to have been injected with hormones and grows at a crazy speed, only slowing to a stop at 2 inches tall. Looks like the more advanced the spirit plant, the more ripening passives are needed. You keep this in mind. This thing takes 3 years to mature. You'll just have to take your time. First, keep farming spirit rice, passing on ripening passives. You look at the seedling with anticipation, wondering what surprises this treasure might bring you. The next second, 3 dazzling rays of light explode. Advanced feather technique, 5 uses. Quality upgraded once. Ripened 5 times. Excited, you jump right up from the ridge. Here comes the advanced feather technique. Double the yield. Isn't this just taking off on the spot? You feel all your frustration from the past months completely vanish in an instant.
10 days later.
Du Haifu stands dumbfounded in front of your field.
He rubs his eyes over and over again,
looking more bitter than if he'd eaten a bitter gourd. He squats down and thoroughly examines those rice seedlings with unique red markings. Finally, he has to admit, this really is Shouya rice. Kid, you actually grew it. He looks at you, his expression all twisted with complicated emotions. He can't get a word out for a long time. A few days later, you head out again with the money you got from selling Ling rice. Shouya rice is handled. Now it's time to get some self-defense tools. You're very clear about this. In this messed up world, you never know when you'll have to fight someone with poor spiritual roots. You're slow at cultivation and need some protection. Target, Qingyang. Method, still that same Juxuan pavilion. As soon as shopkeeper Lao sees you, he grins like a blooming chrysanthemum. He immediately leads you upstairs, to a private room on the 4th floor. Let's chat over some drinks. He even serves you some spirit mist tea. You feel a bit suspicious. It's only been a year or so, and you haven't visited much at all. Why did the service suddenly get so much better today? Once inside the private room, you play it the same as always. You take out 2 big bags of jinling rice from your storage pouch. Same rule, 2 bags. The shopkeeper passes you a scale. Shopkeeper Liao weighs it with a smile and hands you a money pouch. Jinling rice 21 coins per 10 jin. Here's 70 coins for snacks. You nod in agreement. You frown. Something's off, this is too much money. Shopkeeper, what do you mean by this? Shopkeeper Liao pours you some tea, lowers his voice. Price of Fang's Leyland rice is going up. He says the Lenuman sect found a whole 3 realm spirit vein in the Cloud Z Great Wilds war camp. But that place is occupied by a barbarian tribe with several thousand people. The Feather sect took heavy losses and suffered major casualties. They were going to call for reinforcements, but word got out, and the Golden Cloud Valley group beat them to it. Now both sides are openly hostile. Even the teleportation arrays were destroyed. All supply lines have been cut. So not just the Feather sect, but all cultivation resources are about to increase in price. This war might last 3 to 5 years at best, or decades at worst. It won't end anytime soon. To finish, he reminds you again. Rumor has it a demon beast broke through the lines, and no one knows where it went. So be extra careful if you leave home lately. You pick up your teacup, take a sip, but your thoughts are in turmoil. You know, shopkeeper Liao laying it out like this means it's time to talk business. This old fox is so well connected, he definitely has hidden backers. Keeping good relations with him can't hurt. Thanks for the heads up, shopkeeper. You put down your cup. Shopkeeper, is there anything else? Shopkeeper Liao chuckles. His eyes meaningful fellow Daoist chin. You keep a low profile. So your real target is Shouya rice. When your Shouya rice is ready, would you be willing to sell some to our shop? We can agree on a good price. I'll give you 10% over market rate. You're shocked. It's only been a few days, and this old fox already knows you grew Shouya rice. You don't agree right away? You just say maybe in 2 years. You can't guarantee it. You leave yourself a way out. So shopkeeper Liao keeps trying. Clearly, he's hoping for a deal. You pause in thought, then change the topic. I wonder if your esteemed shop sells body training techniques. Shopkeeper Liao understands immediately and pulls a few books from his storage pouch. 9-turn sword control top-notch technique. Leads straight to foundation establishment. 3,000 spirit stones. Hades body tempering method high level. 1,000 spirit stones. Vajra ape breaking skill mid level. 500 spirit stones. Listening to him list all these methods, you feel your savings are basically worthless. Until Heavenly Fiend Demon Core Exchange, 80 spirit stones, you suddenly interrupt him and ask for details. Shopkeeper Liao's face instantly twitches, says he brought the wrong one, that this is a demonic cultivation technique. If you practice it, the whole world will hunt you down. You're speechless on the spot. Then why are you even selling it? 1 hour later, you leave Juxuan Pavilion empty-handed. Those techniques, you either can't afford or would take decades to master. It's just not practical. But at least shopkeeper Liao ultimately points you toward a promising path. There's a Ruin family in the Fang clan's East District. Their family has fallen from grace, but their ancestors left behind a body training manual. No one's bought it for even 100 spirit stones. The Ruin family insists on adding a vitality-boosting pill. Shopkeeper Liao thinks it's not worth it, but you could try your luck. You realize shopkeeper Liao is hinting. You could offer future Shouya rice supply rights as a bargaining chip, and maybe it'll work. In return, you verbally promise to sell him some Shouya rice first when it's harvested. A win-win deal. Just as you leave the shop, you bump straight into a team of Lingyu sect disciples. their patrol squad rushing out of Fangshi brimming with killing intent. You stop a bystander to ask, "What's happened?" He answers they're off to hunt a demon beast. But Fangshi itself is perfectly safe. Even Foundation-level demon beasts can't break the protective array. Just don't wander around and you'll be fine. You leave lost in thought. Following the instructions, you found the Ruin family in the Fang clan's East District, but were turned away at the door. A neighbor said the Ruin family is out of town. They won't be back for 3 or 4 months. You can only give up helplessly and return to the shantytown. It's already late, and you're absent-minded. While making dinner, your mind is a chaotic mess. It's safe inside the Fang clan, but your defenses in the shantytown don't cover this area. A sudden knocking at the door instantly puts you on alert. You open the door and are stunned. The visitor is actually Long Dao, the late-stage key practitioner. He gets straight to the point. He says he heard about your high-quality Lingmin rice and wants to buy some. You quickly do the math and smile, saying you've sold most of it. Fellow Daoist Long frowns and asks how much is left. He wants to buy all of it at market price. You decide to take a gamble and test him, saying you heard something. That rice prices in the Fang market are going up 50% in the next 2 days. Fellow Daoist Long is clearly surprised and looks at you afresh. That information he just learned from his own circle. He goes silent for a moment, then suddenly smiles. He says your news is spot on, and they'll settle at the new, higher price. You nod and sell him 50 pounds of your stock. After seeing Long Dao off, you're left with mixed feelings. Even late-stage key practitioners are starting to hoard supplies. The world really is about to change. You treat yourself to a luxurious Lingmin rice dinner, then sit cross-legged on your meditation mat and begin your cultivation. There are only 2 faint power threads left in the sea of consciousness in your Changchun palace. Today is the day. With a single thought, one of the power threads vanishes instantly. The mana in your danshan bursts forth like a flood, wildly surging through your meridians. When your power reaches its limit, an invisible membrane shatters accordingly. Key cultivation stage 3. The fluctuation of power in your body rises to a whole new level instantly. You take a long exhale, feeling your spiritual energy nearly double. After all these years, you're finally free from being stuck at key cultivation stage 2. Suppressing your joy, you know very well. This is just the beginning. Even with key cultivation stage 3, you're still cannon fodder in the chaos to come. You must get even faster and stronger. In the blink of an eye, 3 more months go by. The second season of Lingmin only gave you 2 faint power threads. It seems your luck has run out. But luckily, after breaking through, your mana increased, and your yield broke 90. You didn't sell all your Lingmin this time. Instead, you started stockpiling. Rice prices in Fang market have already skyrocketed by 60%, with spirit stones breaking past the 150 mark. You went to manager Liao to buy a protection talisman and a low-grade magic sword. Feeling more secure now, late October brings chilly autumn winds. Fallen leaves cover the forest, hiding the trail to the mountaintop and concealing some ominous traces. The third season's Lingmin rice has already headed. Harvest will be in just a month. All the Linglong are guarding their crops like mother hens, hardly leaving the fields day after day. You only got 1 faint power thread this season, so your hopes of quickly ripening Shouya rice are completely dashed. You can only watch longingly at your Shouya fields, those tempting power threads, waiting patiently. One day, while casting the spiritual rain technique in your field, you suddenly hear footsteps behind you. A chill runs through you. You immediately terminate your technique. Turn around. A young cultivator in a white robe is approaching. It's actually Master Sudan. What's he doing here? Fellow Daoist Chin. He gets right to the point. Heard you grew Shouya rice. You hurry to salute him and say it was just luck. No need to be so formal. He waves it off. I'm here for the companion of the Shouya rice, Red Spirit Dew. You're totally at a loss. Never even heard of this thing. Master Sudan explains. It's a rare alchemy ingredient. Not many people know about it. He circles around your Shouya rice field, marveling in amazement. He says you've cultivated Shouya rice exceptionally well. Seems you have a unique secret formula. You think there's no secret formula, but you do have a secret.
He gently lifts a blade of rice leaf at the top.
signaling you to look. You move closer and see at the leaf base. Sure enough, there's a drop of blood-red dew hidden. This won't hurt the lingi. And it just so happens I can use it for alchemy. Master Sudan takes out a jade bottle. May I collect some?
10 spirit stones.
Master Sudan chuckles. Please help yourself. There's no way you'll take his money. Building a good relationship with an alchemist is a guaranteed win. Then I won't be polite. Master Sudan is just about to collect, when suddenly rustling noises. SH. The surrounding woods start shaking wildly, as if an army is charging through the forest, coming straight for you. Master Sudan pauses. His face changes slightly. What's happening? Your heart skips a beat. You instinctively grip the golden light talisman you just bought. The other linglong on the mountain notice something is wrong too, and all stop what they're doing. Piercing screams shatter the silence of the mountain. Dozens of monkeys covered in strange black fur go wild, bursting out of the forest. A few of them obviously already at mid-stage level 1. This is bad, it's the wind. Roaring, Master Sudan cries out in alarm.
He slaps his storage pouch.
Sending a set of formation flags flying out instantly. A pale blue light instantly surrounds him. He speaks rapidly, shouting, "The golden light talisman won't work. Get in quick." Without hesitation, you dive into the protective light, and the outside screams are suddenly cut off. You're still shaken. And look outside, seeing the monkeys sending out waves of sonic attacks. The linglong hit by the sound instantly have blood-red eyes, going berserk, and start brutally attacking those around them. The fields are thrown into utter chaos. A mid-stage key practitioner tries to fly away, but gets hit by a sound wave, screaming in pain, and falls from midair. One massive wind howler monkey leaps on him, mauling him with one bite. He dies on the spot. The shrill laughter nearly pierces your eardrums. Seeing all this, your scalp tingles, and your heart races. Your first instinct is to run, but you stop yourself abruptly. You know full well, if you leave Master Sudan's formation now, you'll end up just like that guy. You look back at Master Sudan. Though he looks grim, he's still composed. Don't panic. My formation can hold for a while, he says in a deep voice. The Lingyu sect will be here soon. Just as he finishes speaking, 7 or 8 tidal monkeys suddenly change direction and charge at you, surrounding you. Leading the attack is that monkey king from just now. Alchemist Su's expression changed as well. Seeing those beasts about to rush into the beast-tooth rice fields, your eyes turned bloodshot. You immediately slapped your storage bag, a flash of ruthlessness in your eyes. A small copper bell emerged in your hand. You quickly performed hand signs, and the small bell instantly expanded, hovering in midair. It was the beast-driving art. You grinned at the group of monkeys, showing a set of white teeth. Trying to have a shouting match with me, are we? Fine, let's see whose volume is louder. A thunderous boom exploded from the copper bell artifact in your hand, shaking the mountains and forests. The sound was deafening, with continuous roars. The momentum alone was terrifying enough. Standing at the center, countless sound waves, like a tide, washed outward in layers. Instantly, the screams of those fang monkeys were completely drowned out. The monkeys' eerie sound waves were broken on the spot. The red light in the eyes of the nearby linglong slowly faded, and they all regained their senses. The DJ monkey was scared out of its wits, fleeing in all directions. The few that were about to pounce on the formation, being closest to your copper bell, had their black fur stand on end from the sound waves. They were trembling with fear. But the mid-stage rank 1 monkey king only froze for a few breaths before its ferocity flared up again. It screamed toward the sky, trying to reorganize the frightened monkey troop. Clearly, it had seen through you. This move was all bark and no bite. It looked intimidating, but it didn't actually cause any substantial damage. It was all show and no substance. You were startled yourself. With just that one move, 1/5 of the spiritual power in your body was drained. However, seeing that the move did work on the monkeys, you finally felt a bit more at ease. Fellow Daoist Chin actually knows the beast-driving art. Alchemist Su behind you was greatly shocked. The way he looked at you changed, as if he was seeing you in a new light. You casually replied, saying that your move only works sporadically, and asked Alchemist Su not to laugh at you. But he didn't have time for that. Fellow Daoist Chin, watch out, they're coming back. Hearing the warning, you immediately braced yourself, quickly circulated your spiritual power, and blasted out another beast-driving art. Half a stick of incense later, finally, a streak of light crossed the sky as a massive Dharma ship instantly hovered over your spiritual fields. You looked closely. It was Deacon Jiyu of the Lingyu sect, leading outer disciples as reinforcements. Just in time. You breathed a long sigh of relief. In that short moment just now, you had used up all 5 charges of the beast-driving art. Now your face was pale, and your danshan was completely empty. If your wood element spiritual power wasn't twice that of others, and if they had arrived a step later, you would have truly been at the end of your rope. You even would have had to use the weak spiritual power trait to survive. This beast raid happened too fast. It took less than 15 minutes from start to finish. Combined with that strange sound wave attack, it caught everyone off guard. Deacon Yu was fuming with rage. With such a huge loss to the spiritual fields, he, as the supervisor, would surely be punished by the sect. He flicked his finger, and a crimson flying sword shot out from his hand. With a flash of red light, the flying sword instantly pierced through the lead monkey king. The air went silent instantly. A bloodline split the monkey king from head to toe. Heavily wounded by a single strike, it died on the spot. Key refining perfection. So terrifying. Watching Deacon Jiyu's thunderous methods, you were completely stunned. Once the people from Lingyu's sect arrived, the matter was effectively over. The remaining monkeys were quickly cleared out. After cleaning up the scene, Deacon Jiyu boarded the Dharma ship. Before leaving, he turned and asked, "Who was the one performing the beast-driving art just now?" You were hesitating, not wanting to stand out too much, but Alchemist Su stepped forward before you could. He said it was fellow Daoist Chin, and that they owed it to him this time. Deacon Jiyu narrowed his eyes and sized you up for a moment, then coldly instructed Du Haifu, this man named Lin, who grows beast-tooth rice. Record a merit for him. Reduce his spiritual rice tax by 10% for this quarter. Du Haifu's expression was worse than if he had eaten bitter herbs, but he still nodded and bowed repeatedly. A 10% reduction naturally came out of his own commission. Then Deacon Jiyu solemnly said to Alchemist Su, "What we discussed before still stands." However, Alchemist Su said he was used to a free and idle life, and didn't like being restricted. Let's discuss this later. Deacon Jiyu led his disciples away on the ship. You breathed a sigh of relief. Looking around, the hillside was a mess. Only yours and a few other people's spiritual fields were spared. Several fields had lost more than half their crops. Over a dozen linglong on the mountain had unfortunately died, mostly due to losing control from the sound waves. Looking at the corpses lying in pools of blood, an indescribable feeling surged in your heart. We are all at the bottom, the bitterness of struggling for life. Working so hard only to be unable to withstand an accident. If it weren't for Alchemist Su, I'm afraid I would have met the same fate as them today. You felt secretly lucky, and then suddenly thought of Sai Loju. Alchemist Su walked over and handed you a bottle of key replenishing pills, saying they owed it to you this time. If the beast-driving art hadn't broken the sound waves, both you and he might have been in trouble today. You were stunned for a moment, but didn't refuse. Taking it and looking, there were 5 pills inside. You swallowed one, sat cross-legged on the spot, and after a moment of meditation, some color finally returned to your pale face. You stood up, greeted Alchemist Su, and said you were going to check on Sai Laoju first. But halfway there, you bumped right into him. He was covered in dirt, with injuries on his body, limping uphill with the help of a tree branch, looking utterly miserable. When he looked up and saw you looking perfectly fine, His composure instantly crumbled. He simply couldn't accept it and said, "No one even knows which bastard got cursed by the monkeys. Someone actually stabbed him in the lower back with a hoe. Don't let him find out who did it. From what you saw, it's just a surface wound." So you were relieved. You just replied, "Good to see you're fine." But old Tsai got even more worked up. He kept asking why you didn't get hurt at all. He joked, "Are those monkeys your relatives? Is that why they left you alone?" You were at a loss for words. So you had to explain it was just a coincidence. You ran into Master Sudan. "If not for him, I'd probably be burning paper at your grave by now." "Who's Master Sudan? What was he doing in your spiritual fields?" Old Tsai looked completely confused. So you briefly explained why Master Sudan came to ask for Qiling Du. Gave him the gist of it. You also mentioned the beast fang rice. You actually managed to grow beast fang rice? Old Tsai was completely stunned. He felt like his whole worldview was turned upside down again. In all his years here, he tried countless times and always failed. He even suspected the spiritual veins here were faulty. Until he followed you to the back of the mountain and saw that waist-high beast fang rice with his own eyes. He was speechless for a while, feeling seriously envious. Now he's genuinely jealous and envious. "Qinming, you're not being a bro, man. Especially when I even gave you wine. You never told me when you grew beast fang rice." After complaining, he still went over to greet Master Sudan warmly. Then he leaned in close and quietly asked where you got the beast fang rice seeds. You calmly answered you bought them from Manager Liao. Pretty much bet your whole fortune on it. Old Tsai clicked his tongue in amazement. He said you really have incredible luck. You actually managed to grow it. You just smiled. Told him you'd treat him to a meal at Jukshuanj once the rice was ready. That finally made him happy. 2 days later, the chaos from the beast attack subsided. Lin Yeoman added some extra security measures, but it was just a simple trigger formation. After all this, your desire to get stronger was more intense than ever. With no trump card, you felt no sense of security. You could die at any moment. So you went back to the ruined family compound at Qingyang Market. After knocking on the door, a haggard-looking, middle-aged cultivator with half-gray hair opened up. You got straight to the point, explaining why you came. Fellow Ruin was stunned for a second, but still invited you in. As soon as you entered the courtyard, it looked bleak and desolate. No one was there except him. He got right to the point. Unless you had tonic pills or rare medicinal herbs that boost vitality, otherwise you'd just be wasting your time. You nodded, then asked about the cultivation technique. He sighed, gestured around the rundown courtyard, looking weary. He said the once great ruined family's fortune was all thanks to this technique.
He took out a page of beast hide from his storage bag.
And showed it to you. This cultivation method is called the Baibao Liuli scripture. Its prerequisites are extremely harsh. You must have top-grade tonics to enhance your vital energy. As he explained, you gradually understood. This technique takes quite an unorthodox path. The core is blood replacement and marrow refinement. You absorb all kinds of rare ingredients that boost vitality, constantly circulating and refining your blood and marrow, until your blood is like mercury, and your body is as crystalline as glass. At higher mastery, you can even form a Liuli armor, repel all spells and evils, become indestructible. You were awed by it. But then Ruen's next words poured cold water on you. It's a bottomless pit when it comes to resource consumption. And this is only a fragment of the scripture, containing just the first 9 levels. You asked what level he'd reached. His face turned bitter. He'd spent a fortune, thousands of spirit stones, and has only reached the 3rd layer. You asked if anyone in the family had reached the 5th. He said no. I'm the highest so far. Right away, you knew why he wanted to sell it so badly. After weighing your options, you decisively offered 100 spirit stones, plus 10 pounds of beast fang rice. I'll take the technique off your hands. Wait, you have beast fang rice? Ruin's dull eyes suddenly lit up, and his whole demeanor changed. You calmly said it isn't ready yet, but it's only a matter of time since you've planted it. He immediately bargained for at least 20 pounds. You frowned, turned around without a word, and walked away. That was just ridiculous. Demanding 20 pounds of beast fang rice for a lion's share like that. That's worth at least 100 right now. He totally thought you were a sucker. Seeing you really leave, Ruin panicked on the spot. He rushed to stop you, saying, "Let's talk about this. Don't be so hasty." After some last desperate bargaining, he finally agreed. 100 spirit stones plus 10 pounds of beast fang rice. Deal, just as you said. You smiled a little. He then asked when the rice would be ready. You casually replied, "About 2 more years." He thought about it and suggested a compromise. You pay 100 now. He'd let you copy the first 5 layers of the technique now. And when the rice is ready, you come back for the rest. You simply nodded. Then handed over a pouch of spirit stones from your storage bag. You acted calm, but inside it broke your heart. That was everything you'd painstakingly saved up. And now it's all gone in one go. Once the deal was done, you didn't stick around. You took the jade slip and left right away. Back in the shanty town, you fell back into the routine of farming. Every day you watched the field entries carefully, calculating in your mind. For the next 2 years, if the accelerate keyword appeared again, you'd secretly transplant a small patch of beast fang rice and ripen it early to use for your training. After all, the world is getting messier by the day. Just 2 years, you can afford to wait. But circumstances won't wait for you. You have to take your fate into your own hands. A month later, the last batch of spirit rice was ready. This time, Manager GU and Du Haifu came personally to supervise. Your spirit rice harvest hit another new record, reaching 410 pounds. After deducting the 10% tax, you received 320 pounds. In the overall ranking for 3 quarters, you even broke into the top 10. When Du Haifu collected the tax, his attitude was completely different. He called you Little Chin with every sentence, and his tone was honey-sweet. Then Manager Jiu coldly announced the results. The bottom 30 cultivators, board the ship and come with me. Even after the beast attack, Lin Yamen showed no mercy at all. Those 30 ended up ashen-faced and lifelessly boarded the ship. You watched them leave, feeling complicated, but your determination grew. Telling him to stop watching. "Let's go." Sai Laju asked hoarsely, "Will we be among them someday? One day, could we be one of those 30 as well?" You paused for a second, but didn't say anything. But deep down, if it weren't for your golden finger, what just happened might have been your answer. It's utterly cruel. At the start of the new year, you planted the spirit rice early. A month later, in your 4 acres of spiritual farmland, the attribute you've been dreaming of finally appeared. Ripening and weak mana. You were instantly overjoyed. Once this crop of spirit rice matures, you'll be able to harvest a batch of beast fang rice in advance. Days passed one after another. You spent all your time either farming or cultivating. In your spare moments, you practiced swordsmanship with your newly purchased Kingling sword. The image of Guji's earth-shattering sword strike often flashed in your mind. You're still far from that level. Another 3 months flew by. The spirit rice reached maturity. You successfully gained ripening and weak mana attributes. 2 attributes in total, plus over 390 pounds of spirit rice. Your spirit rice stock has now surpassed 700 pounds. That evening, taking advantage of the night, you secretly dug up several hundred stalks of beast fang rice, along with those 3 stalks carrying the special magnetic attribute, and transplanted them into your own small courtyard. Everything was ready. Without hesitation, you used the ripening ability on the 3 magnetic rice plants. Nervously watching them, the 3 stalks of beast fang rice grew like crazy. After half a day, the growth began to slow, and they had already grown full seed heads. At this pace, they'd be ready for harvest by morning. Early the next day, you arrived at the courtyard, and sure enough, the 3 stalks of beast sprout rice were fully ripened. You carefully peeled open a single grain. Each grain had the appearance of a beast sprout, pure white all throughout, but with a tint of vivid red inside. A faint fragrance wafted out. You hurried to harvest them. Immediately, 3 green magnetic attribute leaves appeared quietly in your spiritual mind space. Now the real journey was just beginning. You suppressed your excitement and focused your attention on those hundreds of regular beast sprout rice plants. You used your newly obtained ripening and quality enhancement attributes. 2 hours later, as these beast fang rice plants went wild with growth, your luck struck once again. Among them, 2 brand new attributes weak blood keys showed up. You were stunned on the spot. This attribute seemed custom made for you. 7 days later, the whole patch of beast fang rice in your courtyard had reached peak maturity. You could no longer hide your inner joy. This was top-grade beast fang rice. You finally waited for this moment. You looked at those 2 golden weak blood key attributes, knowing your body cultivation journey could officially begin. Thrilled with excitement, in no time at all, you managed to clean up the hundreds of beast sprout rice plants. With this move, you directly harvested a full 6 pounds of premium beast sprout rice, now adorned with several blood-red patterns on the surface. More importantly, the spiritual energy and blood vitality contained within was 3 times that of ordinary rice. Over the next half-month, you saved some seeds as before, then threw your remaining 4 ripening attributes from your spiritual mind into the patch, and used them all. In the end, you harvested a total of 30 pounds of premium beast fang rice, plus 4 weak blood key attributes. You know full well, this was a bit reckless. You exhausted all your ripening attributes. But you couldn't care less. The most urgent matter now was to desperately grow stronger. You know, if you were to sell those 30 pounds of rice, countless people would fight over it. But you knew better than to show off. Right now, you're still a rookie. Being too flashy is basically asking for death. That evening, you cooked a pot of premium beast sprout rice. The aroma alone was enough to entice anyone's soul. You took the whole pot and sat directly on your bed. Without another word, you started gobbling it down. Soon you finished the entire pot of rice. The next second, a surging wave of scorching energy erupted within your body. You immediately crossed your legs and sat upright. Following the method from the Bible scripture, the cultivation process was quite gentle. Not as life-threatening or extreme as other methods. It just made your whole body feel warm and cozy, then gradually heated and swelled up. After about the time it takes a stick of incense to burn, your skin had turned as red as a cooked shrimp. A faint red mist even started steaming off your entire body. This was a sign of a blood transformation. You gritted your teeth, focused your intent within your mind, and used a weak blood key attribute. An even stronger surge of blood energy flooded over you like a tide. You felt like you were being thrown into a steamer. A layer of blood began oozing from your skin, quickly hardening into scabs, wrapping your whole body up. You looked like a giant blood cocoon. Inside the blood cocoon, red light pulsed along with your heartbeat, throbbing over and over. After a full 2 hours, a crack appeared on the surface of the blood cocoon, and soon more and more cracks spread out. The entire cocoon began breaking apart and falling away, letting you break free. A brand new strength awakened inside of you, the power of blood and ki. At that very moment, you officially stepped into the first layer of the Bible scripture. You felt all your internal organs, bones, and skin had been strengthened like never before. Your skin, once tanned dark by the sun, was now fair and smooth, and even had an invisible resilient membrane. Normal swords and blades probably couldn't harm you anymore. Excited, you ran out into the courtyard and punched a lump of granite under the tree. With a bang, rocks scattered everywhere. The whole granite piece instantly shattered into countless fragments beneath your fist. So powerful you stared at your own fist, ecstatic with joy. This level of power was definitely much stronger than an average first-layer body trainer. No wonder that soft-spoken Doi's friend risked everything to practice this. It felt like you'd found a shortcut to overtaking others. Time flew by in a blur of farming and cultivation. Anytime a ripening attribute refreshed in your mind, you spared no hesitation. With a constant supply of resources, your body cultivation progressed at insane speed. 6 months later, with an abundance of premium beast fang rice and 4-week blood key attributes, you brute forced the Beba Liuli scripture up to the 3rd layer. If Dost Ruin found out about this, he'd probably cough up blood from frustration on the spot. You also finally understood just how perfectly the beast fang rice fit your cultivation method. However, according to the scripture, the first 5 layers are only for building a foundation. A true transformation comes after breaking through to the 5th layer and forming the glazed treasure garment. At that point, you won't be comparable to ordinary body cultivators. Also, powerful blood key will give you a huge advantage when you try to break through to the foundation establishment stage later. In the world of cultivation, if you want to establish a foundation, besides reaching the peak of key refining before 60, you must overcome 3 major obstacles: blood, mana, and spiritual consciousness. The road you're on now perfectly solves the first obstacle. During these 6 months, something else unexpected happened. Sudan, that proud alchemist, actually visited you twice on his own initiative. It's been half a year. He's already broken through to key refining level 6. You can't help but feel envious. Alchemists really level up fast. Every time he comes by, it's to buy some everyday spiritual rice from you. After a few visits, you two have gotten pretty familiar with each other. Using 100 pounds of elite spirit rice, you traded him for 2 spirit-gathering pills that enhance your mana. He agreed happily. On this day, Master Su came again. You specially prepared some chives, and even splurged on some lean pork. After several of these sales, your once empty pockets started to fill up again. You have more than 200 snacks now. After a few exchanges, you realize that although Master Su is proud by nature, he's actually pretty easy to get along with. After a few rounds of drinks, Master Su put down his cup and got straight to the point. He plans to refine a kind of pill, which requires a large number of yinming flowers. He'd like your help planting them. Immediately, an image popped into your mind, a kind of spiritual herb that looks like an orchid. A Tier 1 spiritual herb. It takes 1 year to mature. You remember this thing is an auxiliary material for refining top-grade Tier 1 pills. Ablution pills. Ablution pill. That's a treasure used for breaking through after late-stage key refining. You can't even buy it if you want it. Suddenly, everything clicked for you. He's aiming to advance to a high-tier alchemist. But then you had a new question. Why not ask the spiritual plant masters in Lingyu's sect? Instead of coming to me, a rogue cultivator? Master Su explained that he's used to being free and unrestrained, and doesn't like being tied down by the sect. If he went to them, it would definitely get complicated. You nodded, but deliberately put on a troubled expression. You said you've never cultivated a Tier 1 spiritual plant before, and it might be a bit difficult. But Master Su looked at you with a half-smile, saying if you can even grow Beast Fang Mini, then something like a Yinming flower is no big deal at all. He'll provide the seeds, and once they're grown, he'll buy each one for 5 spirit stones. Your heart skipped a beat. 5 spirit stones per plant. That's a huge sum of money. After thinking for a moment, you said you had a request as well. You can plant the Yinming flowers, but you want to keep 10% after they're mature. The rest can go to him. However, you'd like to learn some alchemy skills from Master Su. When such a great opportunity is right in front of you, not grabbing it would be foolish. Master Su was stunned for a second. Then he laughed and said you were just waiting for him to ask. But he said alchemy burns money and requires talent, and not just anyone can learn it. Hearing this, your heart instantly blossoms with joy. You know this is promising. This time it's for the Yinming flower. Who knows what it'll be for next time? As long as you make the connection, you can gradually get some real benefits from him. Master Sudan thinks for a bit and says he plans to stay here for another 3 years. How about this? You grow spiritual herbs for me for 3 years, and I'll share some of my insights on alchemy with you. Deal. You can't hide your happiness. Master Sudan casually takes out a jade slip and hands it to you. This is the foundation of alchemy. You take it and look it over first. Inside are some notes from when I was just starting out. You receive the jade slip. Sweeping it with your divine sense, you're instantly overjoyed. This isn't a basic primer at all. It's clearly Master Sudan's personal study notes. It's detailed and systematic. Plus, it even includes his insights. It's worth it. Just for this book alone, even growing crops for him for 3 years for free would totally be worth it. Just then, there's a knock at the door. You get up to answer it. Standing outside is actually fellow Daoist Long. You warmly invite him in. Come on in and join us for some food. Fellow Daoist Dong initially planned to refuse, but the moment he sees Master Sudan sitting inside, his heart skips a beat. He looks at the food on the table. Spiritual rice, spirit wine, monster beast meat. This meal alone is worth at least 5 spirit stones. Clearly, he's reevaluating your relationship with Master Sudan. He hastily buys 80 pounds of spiritual rice, pays 20 spirit stones, chats for a bit, then leaves. After seeing him off, you return to the table. Master Sudan jokes that you've made a fortune selling rice lately. You humbly say it's just enough to get by, nothing compared to him. After a satisfying meal, Master Sudan leaves you a pouch of honeysuckle seeds, telling you he'll rent another plot of land near the spiritual fields, and you should plant them there. A few days later, you grab your pass, shoulder your hoe, and head to the spiritual fields. After cramming for a few days on spiritual herb books, you discover the hardest part of growing heroic spirit flowers is pollination. When the flowers bloom, you need a wind control spell, and you must perform it at least 7 times, during the 7-day blooming period using a special technique. This really stumps you. You can't possibly go hand-pollinate the flowers yourself, can you? You mutter to yourself, frustrated. Sigh, let's just plant them first and worry about it later. Ever since reaching body refinement level 3, your strength has skyrocketed. Tilling the land feels like child's play. You've quickly worked over 3 acres. You use your ultimate spiritual concealment technique. Look at the moist soil and weigh your options. If it really doesn't work out, I'll just have to use my ripening skill. After cultivating, you're in great spirits. You decide to go to Jukshuan Pavilion to sell some rice and ask about wind control spells while you're at it. Manager Liao greets you warmly as always. He's just as enthusiastic. You don't waste words and pull out 3 large sacks of rice, a total of 380 pounds. You trade them for 120 spirit stones. Casually, you ask about the current price and acquisition methods of spiritual rice. Manager Leo lowers his voice and says the prices are still the same for spiritual rice, but the prices for fortune luck artifacts and elixirs are still rising lately. The Lin Yu sect is pioneering at the front lines, with heavy casualties, and they're recruiting freelance cultivators again. A chill runs through your heart. You ask if there are spells for controlling a jade bee swarm for sale. Any one of beast control manual, insect repelling technique, or spiritual command classic. All cost 300 spirit stones. Manager Leo eagerly recommends them. You purse your lips and directly say, forget it. He's just trying to squeeze every spirit stone you have. You've only got barely over 300 now anyway. So, you turn to ask about mid-grade attack talismans, especially mid-grade Thundersword talismans. Only one left. You grit your teeth and buy it anyway. This is a life-saving item. That evening, you return to the shantytown area. Dinner is, as usual, a pot of premium beast fang rice. After eating, you start cultivating. You find that the further you progress in the 100 treasures glazed scripture, the more resources you need. It's like a bottomless pit. You just finish your training when a sudden urgent pounding comes from outside your door. Peeking out the door gap, you see it's old Sai 9. Right now he's drenched in sweat, looking like the sky is falling. You open the door and ask what's wrong. Old Sai 9 stutters, his voice trembling. and says something big has happened. Fellow Daos Long has died. Your mind goes completely blank for a moment, totally dazed. How could this be? Fellow Daos Long was in the late stage of key refinement. You can't believe it at all. Old Tai Nine says he was killed by a rogue cultivator. The body's right over there, in the river nearby. Just found not long ago. He tells you to go check it out quickly. Your heart pounds with anxiety, and you rush over with him in a panic. The scene of the incident is actually only a few 100 feet from your place. A big crowd has already gathered by the riverbank. Everyone's face is filled with fear. You squeeze into the crowd and spot the body in the river at a glance. Sure enough, it's fellow Daos Long. His whole body had been stripped clean, storage pouch taken without a trace. Multiple injuries from magic artifacts are visible on his body.
He is, unfortunately, dead.
They say he was killed last night. The body was stuck in a bridge hole, only just now washed out. People are loudly discussing, everyone guessing what kind of expert could have silently killed fellow Daos Long. Just how strong is the culprit? Soon your patrol team arrives, disperses the crowd. But when the team leader sees the corpse, he also has a grim expression. You return to your room absent-minded, a chill running down your back. Danger is now so close to you. The shantytown isn't safe anymore. You realize immediately that you have to find a way to move into the market area. You can't put it off any longer. With fellow Daos long gone, petty criminals here will only get bolder. The killer couldn't even be bothered to dispose of the body, just dumped it in the river in broad daylight. This is basically a provocation. You grip that mid-grade thunder sword talisman tightly in your sleeve, only feeling a little safer. No, I have to get stronger fast. You know you're almost out of resources. It's crystal clear to you. After reaching 100 treasures glazed scripture level 3, the effect of premium beast fang rice has started to weaken. You need higher quality spiritual rice. But the quality upgrade entry hasn't appeared for half a year. Thinking this through, determination flashes in your eyes. You decide to use the last ripening entry on those 3 acres of heroic spirit flowers. You're betting everything on this. Betting that it will give you a quality upgrade entry. Fellow Daos Long's death hangs over you like a dark cloud, and over the whole shantytown. For days, the alley has been deathly quiet. Everyone keeps their doors tightly shut. No one dares go out after dark. Even though Lin Yu's sect has increased patrols, you only dare go out in groups. But then again, these days the spiritual fields have become the safest place instead, because Steward Jiyu is personally leading the patrols. His massive flying arc hovers over the fields every 3 days, pausing above the area for half a day each time. This helps set your mind at ease. Looks like the rainy ones don't want anything to go wrong with the supply line either. In those 3 acres of your bright blossom fields, you already used up the ripening entry early on. 2 days later, when you saw the bright green seedlings breaking through the soil, your heart leaped into your throat. Right after, you saw 3 dazzling golden entries appear. You almost shouted out right then and there. Wind command ripen 5 times. Bloodline reversion once. You stared at those lines, rubbing your eyes to make sure you weren't seeing things. Utter overwhelming joy. Now this is what you call luck. You can't help it anymore. You burst out laughing alone in the empty spirit field. Wind command can guide Ling Feng to pollinate the Lingi, and the bloodline reversion lets the Lingi evolve into its previous generation form, upgrading its quality. No perfection entry, but something even more explosive showed up. You immediately pulled out your copy of the Lingi Curiosities record and quickly flipped to the page on Beast Fang Rice. It was written all too clearly in the book. The ancestor of Beast Fang Rice was a top-tier first-rank Lingi called Blood Yellow Rice, just a step away from ascending to the second rank, a real powerhouse. Eating it can greatly boost a cultivator's vitality. Those without solidified vital energy should avoid using it. Not only is this stuff a dream come true for body cultivators, it's also a sacred item for blood path techniques. It's said to have long vanished from the cultivation world. Plus, It's even harder to grow than beast fang rice. You need to water it with the blood essence of demon beasts. And there must be plenty of spirit energy. It typically takes at least 10 years to mature. You stare intently at that bloodline reversion entry. Only one thought in your mind, Master Sudan. You are truly my living Buddha. But now you're out of ripening entries, so you can only wait it out. For the next season's Sprite Rice, 3 months fly by in a blink. You long and yearn for it day and night. And finally, in your Sprite Rice field, another ripening entry appears. Everything's ready. Only missing the demon beast blood essence. Where can you get it? You pace back and forth in the hut, thinking about hunting a demon beast yourself. No way, absolutely no way. You can't risk that at all. Spending money is way more reliable. 2 days later, at the butcher in Qingyang market, you grit your teeth and spend 150 spirit coins on 10 pounds of first-rank demon beast blood essence. That should be enough, right? You head back to the yard, first using the new ripening entry you got from the Sprite Rice field to ripen the 3 bright blossom plants with entries. In an instant, 3 new leaves appear in your mind's sea of consciousness. 2 green, 1 blue. It can trigger bloodline reversion in the Lingi. No wonder it's a blue entry. You secretly marvel. To make sure nothing can go wrong, you make another trip to Juxuan Pavilion, blowing over 100 spirit stones at shopkeeper Lo Yao's place, on a set of miniature stealth formation tools. This time, you're not only all in with your spirit stones, you're putting all your entries on the line too. Even the high-grade spirit language command at the bottom of the box is up for use. Everything is ready. First, you ripen that batch of premium longevity sprout rice. Then, the moment the seedlings sprout, you immediately use the bloodline reversion entry on them. Instantly, the entire Lingi scene transforms before your eyes. Hundreds of strange, crimson plants begin madly growing, replacing the original rice seedlings. A golden entry manifests alongside them. Abundant vitality. All the rice leaves on the beast fang rice wither away, replaced by bamboo-like textures, bearing rows of blood-red spiritual rice grains. You push on without pause, hitting them with another ripening entry. As expected of a top-tier first-rank Lingi, it took 3 ripening entries to bring this batch of blood-yellow rice to 10 years of age. Then you used the high-grade spirit rice command and started watering with demon beast blood essence. As soon as the technique activates, over half of your mana is instantly drained. Clearly, this is not something a novice key condensation practitioner can handle. But you grit your teeth and use 2 weak vitality entries in a row to keep yourself going. Inside the hidden formation above you, a whirling dark cloud vortex appears out of thin air, lightning flashing and thunder rumbling. Luckily, the array conceals it. Otherwise, the commotion would be huge. You breathe a sigh of relief and boldly continue your spellcasting. As soon as the blood-yellow rice makes contact with the blood essence bath, it starts wriggling eerily like a living creature, absorbing at a crazy rate. The bloody aura around the grains grows thicker and thicker. Under the overbearing effect of the high-grade spirit jade command, all the nearby spirit energy is instantly sucked dry as nutrients. On the branches of the blood-yellow rice, another batch of fragmented grains even grows. You don't let the chance slip by, burning the spellcasting process of the high-grade spirit language command into your memory. Half a month later, you've barely slept a wink, until finally all the blood-yellow rice is mature. And your entries are depleted down to just weak wind command and vitality, with 2 abundant vitality and 1 left. You carefully harvest all the spirit rice, then wipe every trace from the yard. No one else can ever find out about this. After all that, you look at the heap of blood-red spirit rice in your storage bag, your heart pounding with excitement. You lick your lips, a smile of barely contained joy spreading across your face. Let me taste this legendary blood-yellow rice. I wonder what it's really like. You eagerly scoop up a bowl of rice, take a spoonful and bring it to your mouth. Boom! A torrent of vitality explodes inside you like a volcano, shooting straight up to your crown. Even though you were ready, You're still almost knocked out by the force. You instantly start channeling 100 treasures glazed scripture, madly moving the energy and blood around. Refining marrow, replacing blood. Suddenly, thick blood mist rises all over your body. It feels like there are bugs crawling under your skin. The itching is unbearable. You feel like your own blood is boiling. Your vitality compresses and refines again and again, becoming thicker and more viscous. You eat up the rest of the rice in one go. Your whole body's vitality instantly pushed to the limit. You snap your eyes wide open. The scabs formed from the blood renewal on your skin peel off layer by layer. 100 treasures glazed scripture, 4th layer breakthrough. You can barely contain your excitement. Finally, the 4th layer equivalent to mid-stage body forging. In just one short year, you've transformed yourself. Even you can barely believe it. But 4 layers isn't enough. You clench your fists, determined to rush to the 5th layer soon. In the days that follow, you become a complete shut-in. Except for dealing with the spirit fields now and then. You spend every remaining moment madly cultivating 100 treasures glazed scripture. With the help of blood yellow rice, your progress skyrockets. Time flies. Another half-year passes. Inside your house, your eyes are tightly shut. The vital energy inside you thick and molten like hot syrup, having reached an all-new peak. Just one more step and you'll break through to the 5th layer. You don't hesitate anymore, directly using up that golden abundant vitality entry. Suddenly your vision goes dark, and you feel an ocean pour over you from above, as if drowning your entire being, almost suffocating you. This vitality boost from the entry is every bit as strong as eating a bowl of blood yellow rice. You hear the thunderous rush of blood in your ears. Inside the inner chamber as usual. Inside your body, it feels as if you've become an endless sea of blood, thick as syrup. Suddenly, a towering wave rises from the depths of the blood sea, instantly swallowing your consciousness. A deafening explosion goes off in your mind. The power of your vital energy transforms once again, furiously reinforcing your flesh and bones. Right after that, a layer of glassy, radiant light appears beneath your skin, like a robe clinging to your body, covering every inch of your skin. Glazed treasure robe. The very moment the robe forms, it means you've officially reached the 5th level of the 100 treasures glazed scripture. Your body refinement has made a qualitative leap. Your current strength is now far beyond others at your stage. You casually pick up the kindling sword and slash hard at your own arm. Only a pale mark is left on your skin, which quickly disappears. Ordinary magical weapons can no longer harm you. A wave of joy wells up inside you. An unprecedented sense of security washes over you. More importantly, this glazed treasure robe can even resist spells. Level 5 is this powerful? So everything in the book was actually true. The first 5 levels are done. Now I have to hurry and obtain the last 4 levels from fellow Daoist Ruin. You're even more eager to see what comes next. After a quick wash-up, you suppress all your energy and blood. On the outside, you're still that ordinary Linglong with slightly tanned skin, but your whole energy and spirit have changed completely. Your eyes are contained but sharp.
Now,
At last, you finally have some power to protect yourself in this chaotic world. This should count as the first hidden card I've gained since coming here. It's really not easy. The nerves strained by the cultivator raid have finally relaxed a bit. There are still 2 months left. Your 1 moo of longevity sprout rice will be ready for harvest. Then you'll not only be able to trade for further cultivation techniques, but also advance to a first-grade junior spiritual cultivator, enjoying the benefit of half taxes. Both your status and income will rise greatly. However, advancement still requires passing a spiritual plant knowledge exam. That's a must for you. With the title of spiritual planter, things will be much easier in the future. Body training can't be pushed further for now, so you start cramming spiritual plant knowledge and studying alchemy on the side. You even buy a small pill furnace from Manager Lau and try refining a few batches of basic pills. But they all turn into a pot of charcoal. Harsh reality hits you in the face. Looks like without guidance, just reading really doesn't cut it. You sigh helplessly at a pot of useless residue. All you can do is hope that when the heroic flower matures, Sudanshi can give you a few pointers. 2 months later, you stand beneath a big tree near the fields, looking up at a dirt-yellow beehive the size of a pot lid. Thousands of snow-white bees swarm around the hive. These are the fierce twin sting bees, unique to the Cloud Desolation Marsh. They can temporarily numb a cultivator's spiritual power. Of course, you don't pay them any mind now. You're just searching for the queen bee, preparing to use the wind control technique. You spot it, eyes lighting up, and start forming hand seals. Then strike toward the lower right corner of the hive. The wind control technique in your spiritual consciousness. Entry instantly appears. Deep within the hive, the queen bee, 5 times larger than a regular bee, suddenly shuddered, her eyes flickering with confusion. And then you clearly sensed a new connection forming between you and the queen. You immediately issued a command. In the next second, the entire hive of twin bees swarmed out, a massive, dark cloud, flying straight for your 3-acre Lingming flower field. The results were remarkable. It really worked. You're overjoyed, and quickly ordered the bees to begin pollination. Soon, busy twin bees filled every corner of your 3-acre field. You nodded with satisfaction. Back then, Master Sudan only asked for a 10% survival rate, but you've pushed it all the way to 90%. Once these 7 days of pollination are over, the quality will be guaranteed. Over 300 Lingming flowers, at 5 spirit stones each. That's a business worth over 1,000 spirit stones. You consider to yourself, it's time to move into the spiritual herbs and medicine business. 7 days later, the Lingming flowers emit a rich fragrance. They're ready for harvest. You send a message talisman to Master Sudan. Before long, he came strolling over with his little bamboo basket. But when he saw the blooming 3 acres of flowers, his calm expression vanished instantly, and his face became a sight to behold. You grew all these yourself? He pointed at the spiritual field, giving you a look of utter disbelief. You gave a sheepish laugh, and simply called it good luck. Pure luck, honestly? Master Sudan shot you a glare, and said you must be kidding. When has anyone ever seen something this miraculous? He carefully picked a blossom as he spoke, inspecting it closely, nodding that the quality was superb, perfectly suitable for medicinal use. Then he looked you up and down again, and slowly said he truly didn't expect that friend Chin's talent in spirit planting was so high. Working here is really a waste of your skills. What a real waste of talent. You forced a wry smile and waved your hand, saying it was just good fortune. With this many Lingming flowers, I owe you a big favor. Master Sudan thought for a moment, and finally said, I'm not one to owe favors. Here's the deal. From now on, when I'm refining pills, you're welcome to observe nearby. I won't teach you directly. How much you learn is all up to you. Hearing this, you couldn't help but be thrilled. After working hard for a year, this was exactly what you were waiting to hear. Even now, you can't forget the taste of those 2 spirit-gathering pills. You dream of refining your own. Then I graciously accept. You immediately cupped your fists in thanks, and the 2 of you began harvesting, for a total of 320 flowers. As promised, after Master Sudan finished counting, he gave you 32 flowers. He also reminded you to store them in a jade box. Otherwise, their medicinal properties would fade. You carefully accepted them and put them away safely. Master Sudan took his leave, saying he'd notify you when it was time for pill refining. You didn't rush off. Instead, you returned the twin bees to their original place, making plans in your heart. This bunch will be useful for future spirit herb cultivation. Next time, you should buy a beast pouch to collect them. 2 days later, the spiritual rice ripened. As usual, Wuzi brought his team for a collection. Your 1 acre of Shouya rice quickly became the center of attention. Harvesting and weighing were completed in no time. Du Haifu called out the results to you loudly. Jingling rice, 1280 jin. Shouya rice, 410 jin. After calling the numbers, he walked over with a big grin, doing a complete 180 in his attitude. Congratulations, fellow Doist. From now on, for the Shouya rice project, taxes will be cut in half. It takes you a minute to adjust. This guy used to just call you Zhao King. You politely responded. I'll count on you for more help in the future, Supervisor Du. Du Haifu then handed you a wooden token, saying it's for the spirit planter examination. You may go to the Fang family for the test anytime. Congratulations in advance, fellow Qin, on becoming a first-rank spirit herb planter. After paying your taxes, you still had over 600 jin of jingling rice and 210 jin of Shouya rice. Another considerable profit. Shaoqin, that was our agreement. Cai Laoju was practically drooling with envy.
He sidled up, waggling his brows.
You're treating me to a feast at the Juxuan Pavilion. Feeling great. You laughed and agreed. Sure, it's perfect. I need to sell to Manager Lao anyway. And I need to stop by the Ruan family to collect the last 4 floors of the Baoliu Golden Pagoda from Qingyang at the private room in Juxuan Pavilion. You ordered a table full of fine dishes and wine. Enjoying a hearty meal with Cai Laoju, Manager Lao smiled and accompanied you, glass in hand, calculating fiercely in his mind. Clearly, your Shadua rice was the main attraction today. After a few rounds of drinks, Manager Liao rubbed his hands, and finally couldn't help but ask, Fellow Qin, about that Shouya rice of yours. You tipped back a glass of wine, and leisurely took out your spirit rice. Over 500 jin of jingling rice, and 100 jin of Shouya rice. Manager Liao's eyes lit up instantly. He barely glanced at the jingling rice, and focused on that bag of Shouya rice. He grabbed a handful, inspecting them closely, his excitement growing even stronger. Fellow Qin, your Shouya rice is top quality. They're nearly the very best. If this batch is handled well, the profits could multiply several times. More importantly, building a good relationship with you means exclusive access. With that, Manager Lo made up his mind. Fellow Qin, I'll offer 20% above market price, 6 spirit stones per jin. How about it? You didn't agree right away. Noticing this, Manager Liao quickly took out a jade token from his storage bag and presented it to you with solemnity. This is the Juxuan Pavilion's discount card. Anywhere you shop at our locations, you get a 20% discount. You took the jade token, checked it, then nodded. Deal. Manager Lao beamed and immediately weighed and settled the rice. 510 jin of jingling rice, 170 spirit stones, 105 jin of Shouya rice, 630 spirit stones. That's 800 in total. Lower grade spirit stones, all credited to your account at once. With 800 spirit stones, you instantly felt more confident. Cai Laoju stared in awe. Once the transaction was done, you casually asked if anything's new with the Fang family lately. Manager Lao replied in a low voice. Same as ever, the Lingyu Sex teleportation array is still under repair. It probably won't be fixed anytime soon. You nodded.
Taking note.
Manager Li gave you a 20% discount on the meal and sent you a bottle of spirit wine, showing you lots of respect. Leaving the Juxuan Pavilion, you and Cai Laoju, went your separate ways. You went alone to the steward hall to take the test. It went smoothly. You finished in just an hour. The steward in charge of the test stamped your wooden token with a magical seal. On the back of the token, 1 leaf of the spirit mushroom icon lit up, signifying your official qualification as a first-rank spirit mushroom planter. Your status is finally different now. You walk along Fang Street, playing with your identity token, in a pretty good mood. As you pass by the street, a female cultivator approaches you and asks if you need company. You keep your eyes straight ahead and walk right past her. She spits on the ground and says you're no fun, but you can't be bothered to respond and keep moving forward. Arriving at the Ruan family compound, this place is near the Fang Clan Center, a private standalone courtyard, complete with its own formation array. You take the opportunity to ask around. Even the worst courtyard costs 300 a year, and they're all fully rented right now. If you want to rent one, you have to get a ticket at the registry hall. I heard the ticket queue is already over 900 this year. You click your tongue in disbelief. If it weren't for the security of this second-tier formation array, no one would bother renting. At the entrance to the Ruan family compound, you raise your hand and knock. You knock for a while, but no one answers. So you have to send fellow Daoist Ruan a message talisman. A moment later, the talisman lights up. He says he's handling business outside. and won't be back anytime soon. If you want, he can give you an address, and you can go there for him. You furrow your brow, feeling something is off. After thinking for a moment, you quietly decide to wait a bit longer. You reply, "It's not very safe outside right now. Just let you know when he's back." And that's enough. Fellow Taoist Ruin went out again. You never expected to come up empty again. Having experienced the powers of the 100 treasures glazed scripture, you're itching to try the remaining cultivation techniques. But it seems you'll just have to wait. It's not wise to act rashly. You stroll around the market for a while, buying a retail pouch and some meat, then head back to the shantytown. The next morning you use spirit grain and lean demon meat to make a fragrant breakfast. Just as you are about to eat, there's a knock at the door. The sound comes again. You peek out from the crack in the door. It's a neighbor you rarely talk to. Out of courtesy, you still let them in. The other person puts on a big smile and says they heard fellow Taoist Chin became a first-time spirit planter. So they came specially to congratulate you, bringing a small bag of gifts. It's just a little token of respect. They're so enthusiastic. You feel bad turning them away. So you thank them and accept. That neighbor glances over at your table with the spirit grain and lean meat. Their envy is almost dripping from their mouth. A few words of small talk, and then he sensibly leaves. You just finish eating and are about to wash the dishes. Then, damn, there's knocking at the door again. What the hell is going on today? You frown and mutter as you move to the crack again. One look and you almost jump in surprise. Damn, it's your female neighbor Li Yanli. Today she's wearing delicate makeup and also carrying a little bag. Seeing her like this, you actually feel relieved. She's probably just here to socialize, not for anything else. Sure enough, Li Yanli comes in to offer congratulations, and after some small talk, leaves. But no matter how much makeup she puts on, she can't cover the exhaustion beneath. Looks like she still hasn't escaped the shadow of that prison. Without a powerful backer, the future will be rough. You didn't keep her. As she left, she gave you a resentful and complicated look. Over the next few days, people keep coming by one after another. It's driving you crazy. You hate this kind of socializing. But since they bring gifts, you can't just kick them out. You can only thank each one. One day, while you're cultivating on your cushion, your message talisman suddenly lights up. You stop cultivating, pick it up for a look. It's a message from fellow Taoist Ruin. He says now's a convenient time for the deal, and that he's passing by Fang's, but he's got something urgent to handle, and can't make it home. He'll be gone as little as a year or two, or as long as 3 to 5 years. If it's convenient for you, let's just do the deal now. He immediately adds another message, tells you not to worry. He ran into a patrol team acquaintance just now. They're here too, and you hesitate for a moment, but reply anyway. Asking where to meet, he says on the road east of Fang's. You agree. Pack up your things and head straight out, passing through the shanty town. You see a few middle-aged female cultivators by the river doing laundry. They can't even be bothered to greet you. Once you're gone, their jealous words float over. So it's just a first-tier spirit planter. It's not like they're an alchemist. What's so great about that? You curl your lip, not bothering to argue. After the time it takes to drink a cup of tea, you arrive at the spot fellow Taoist Ruin mentioned. You don't show yourself right away, but crouch in the bush nearby to observe for a bit. A cold wind blows across the overgrown field. Some figures stand on the road not far away. Fellow Taoist Ruin is all smiles, chatting with 2 patrol cultivators in Lingyu sect uniforms. You take a closer look. Those 2 patrols are familiar faces. They're often seen patrolling the shantytown. Turns out it's them. With that, your last bit of doubt is gone. You get up and walk over straight away, trying to act calm, without showing anything unusual. Fellow Taoist Ruin sees you and immediately greets you happily, then gives the 2 patrolmen a cupped fist salute, telling them to wait a moment. He needs to take care of something. He'll be right back. Then he turns to you and politely complains about being busy lately. You force a smile and get right to the point. Did you bring the stuff? He also asks eagerly, is your beast fang rice mature yet? You pat your storage bag and take out a small bag of beast fang rice, exactly 10 pounds. You open it for him to see. The spirit rice is tooth-sized, white tinged with red. with a fragrant aroma. No mistake, it's beast fang rice. The quality is really nice. A flash of greed passes through Ruin's eyes. But suddenly he asks, "May I ask, fellow Doist Chin, how much did you harvest? It should be more than these 10 pounds, right?" When you hear that, you immediately frown. "How much I grew has nothing to do with you, right?" He hurriedly laughs in embarrassment and says he was just asking. Then he takes out that beast skin from his storage bag. You hand over the rice. He hands over the skin. Once you get the beast skin and check it's correct, you're just about to relax. But suddenly your body's energy and blood spike in alarm. A surge of killing intent pierces your thoughts. You instantly understand, but keep your face neutral, still pretending to look over the beast skin again. There are still 2 left. Your mind is set on speed. A total of 5 murderous auras are silently locking onto you from different directions. 3 of them come from Taoist Ruin and those 2 patrol cultivators from Lingyu sect. The other 2 are hidden in the shadows. In a split second, you realize you've fallen right into a trap someone dug for you. There's not a trace of panic on your face. Ruin has reached key refining level 5. The 2 patrols, one is level 5, and the other is level 6. 2 hidden in the dark. You can't sense their cultivation yet. Countless thoughts flash through your mind. You decide instantly. You leisurely put away the beast hide. A smile returns to your face. You pull out a small embroidered pouch from your storage bag. You clasp your hands towards those 2 Lingyu sect patrolmen. "Patrolman, thank you for your hard work. It's nothing. When you pass through the alley in the future, please look after me." As you speak, you walk towards them, ready to hand over the item. The 2 exchange a glance. Both smirk in disdain, just as you're only a few steps away, and they're about to make their move. "Hey, isn't that Mr. Upright here? Coming to play some wild games, huh? Should have said so earlier." A mocking voice rings out. You turn to look. It's actually that alluring woman in green from the brothel. Standing next to her is a burly man with a thick beard. Both are radiating killing intent, staring fixedly at you. Key refining level 4. Key refining level 5. There you go, 5 people in one group. Jisoo, that kid is really damn timid. At this moment, Doist Ruin drops the act, shows his fierce face. Licking his lips, we've tried several times, but he wouldn't show up. If it weren't for you patrolmen taking the risk, we really couldn't get him. Let's finish him quickly. Take the loot and leave. Before any trouble arises, the burly man rumbles. Just that patrolman at level 5 key refining. Scoffs. Doesn't even consider you, a level 3 key refining, as a threat. All 5 already have you completely surrounded. But in the next moment, you strike first. You suddenly bend your legs. You shoot forward like a cannonball. You flip your hand and slap your storage bag. You meant to grab your kindling sword, but in the rush, you end up grabbing a spirit shovel used for digging. No time to care about that. Your vital energy instantly pours into the spirit shovel. Your arm muscles bulge like steel cables, targeting the nearest patrolman at key refining level 5. Without a second thought, you swing the shovel down hard. That patrolman is startled by your speed. All he sees is a blur, and you're right in front of him. He dares not hesitate. Quickly makes a hand sign. A blue shield instantly covers his body. With a snap, his mana shield, struck by your shovel, shatters like paper, broken in an instant. Shock flashes across his face. He hurriedly activates a golden protective talisman. A layer of golden shield forms around him.
Again with a snap.
The golden talisman doesn't last even a second. It shatters once more. The patrolman, with you close in, retreats in panic, but ends up exposing his neck right to your shovel blade. You stab straight through with the shovel. Blood spurts wildly. He grabs his neck and collapses on the ground. His body twitches a few times, dies on the spot. This happened in an instant. No sooner than you exchanged blows. A self-important key refining level 5 cultivator is instantly killed by you. The other 4 are stunned. Bad news? He's a body cultivator? Back away. The key refining level 6 patrolman reacts fastest. He leaps back as a final windblade spell shoots towards you. You don't care. Your vital energy erupts. A glazed treasure robe instantly covers you. You leap up again, bang. The wind blade smashes against your chest with a dull thud, but doesn't even scratch your skin. How can that be? The patrolman's eyes nearly pop out. Ruin's group of 3 realize what's happening, casting all sorts of spells. Magical tools fly at you from behind like crazy. You completely ignore the attacks from behind. Your gaze locks onto the key refining level 6-1. Patrolman, you raise your spirit shovel and strike down. He hastily summons a pitch-black round shield to protect himself. The shovel crashes onto the shield. Sparks fly everywhere. The cultivator, overwhelmed by your terrifying strength, is smashed, shield and all, a dozen yards away. Boom. Crashing hard onto the dirt slope. He coughed out a mouthful of fresh blood. His eyes were filled with terror. Is this really human strength? It was like getting hit head-on by a monster. You shifted your stance, bracing yourself to withstand a few unavoidable spells. With a sudden dash, you appeared right in front of that cultivator. You reached out to grab him. He tried to resist, but you seized him in one move. You forcefully pressed his wrist downward. The strength of a key refining cultivator was a total joke in front of your body refining monster. It was laughable. You kicked him to the ground, stomped down hard, raised your spirit shovel, and relentlessly stabbed it at his head. Splash, splash, splash. In the blink of an eye, his head was smashed to mush like a rotten watermelon. Behind you, 3 people were so scared they were paralyzed. Even a 6th-layer key refiner couldn't withstand it. One move. That's the damn Linglong glazed treasure garment. No way at the 5th layer. How could you possibly be this fast? Fellow Daoist Ruin finally realized what was happening. Scared out of his wits, he summoned an African artifact to try and escape. Trying to run. The spirit shovel in your hand turned into a blur and shot out. With a swoosh, the shovel precisely severed one of his legs. Fellow Daoist Ruin screamed as he fell from midair.
He dragged his broken leg, struggling on the ground.
Wait, you dashed forward again. Picked up the spirit shovel. Without a second thought. With a splat, a human head soared into the sky. The remaining woman in green and the burly bearded man saw this. Their faces went pale. They immediately split up and ran. But when it comes to speed against you, you caught up to the burly bearded man in just a few leaps. Your right hand reached out and grabbed him by the back of the neck, yanked him back sharply. Fellow Daoist, wait, don't kill me. I'm all soft-hearted. Your eyes were icy cold. You swung the shovel without hesitation, chopped through half his neck in one blow. You spun around suddenly. The spirit shovel in your hand became a streak of light again, aimed at the fleeing woman in green. The spirit shovel pierced through her back. With immense force, it sent her flying several meters, nailing her dead to the ground. You were drenched in blood in the wasteland. An intense, murderous aura filled the air. You quickly looted the 5 storage bags and burned all the bodies to ashes with a fireball technique. Carefully cleaned up every trace. After making sure nothing was left behind, you turned and disappeared into the wilds. With such little strength, they dared to become bandit cultivators? Back at the hut, you started to count your spoils. The 2 Spirit Feather Sect disciples together had over 500 spirit stones, a few magical tools, and 2 mid-grade talismans they didn't manage to use. That black round shield you busted open was the only mid-grade magical tool. A little repair and it's usable. Aside from that, the other 3 scraped together over 600 spirit stones and some low-grade stuff. Just spirit stones alone, you got more than 1,000 in this round. No wonder there's always gold and murder and arson. You couldn't help but sigh. You kept everything valuable. Burned the rest with another fireball spell. After all that, you finally started to think. 80% sure these 5 were bribed by Ruin for your beast tooth, brought in as temporary help. And besides, Spirit Feather Sect folks are mixing with bandit cultivators. There must be a lot more going on behind the scenes. But as long as they don't mess with you, you can't be bothered. If you hadn't just broken through to body refining level 5 today, you'd be the one getting looted right now. 2 days later, the slums got tense again. 2 from Lin Feather Sect were killed. The whole patrol thing blew up. It was like a slap in the face to the sect. Everywhere near the Fang clan area started strict inspections. These bandit cultivators are way too arrogant. First it was fellow Daoist Long. Now they even dare to kill people from Lin Feather Sect. Listening to the murmurs in the alley, you twitched your lips. shouldered your spirit hoe and went to work. Finished tilling your own 5 acres, then turned over the 3 acres for Master Sudan as well. After that, you put those 4-winged, twin-horned birds from the tree into your spirit beast pouch. They'll be useful for planting spirit herbs later. Just after you wrapped up, Master Sudan's message arrived.
He was about to start alchemy.
Told you to come over. Your spirits lifted. Finally, it's about to begin. You rushed to Master Sudan's yard at once. When you entered, Master Sudan was already getting things ready. Today I'm making first-tier high-grade marrow cleansing pills. Even though you had guessed as much, you couldn't help but be moved at this moment. He was about to break through and become a high-grade alchemist right before your eyes. That would make you the only witness. Come with me. I'll show you something. Good stuff. Master Sudan grinned slyly, mysteriously led you further in. His grin gave you goosebumps. He pushed open the innermost door. A wave of heat hit you. You looked inside and were instantly stunned. There was a purple pill furnace in the room, complete with all kinds of workstations. What shocked you most was that the pill furnace was actually connected to earth fire underneath. This was a legit, fully equipped alchemy room. Master Sudan looked at your astonished face, smugly said, "Well, who would have thought? There's actually an earth fire vein under these slums. Only my place here can draw it out." Across the whole slum area, you were speechless for a long time. Didn't know anyone could do this. This was basically using sect-level resources for free. No wonder, as a mid-level alchemist, he was willing to stay in this dump for years. Master Sudan added, "Of course, this kind of earth fire is only fit for making low-level pills. Second tier and above needs to use your own true fire." You were amazed in secret. A first-tier high-grade pill is considered low-level to him. You looked at your pile of junk ingredients. No way you could make anything good. Gotta find a way to use his alchemy room more. You started to scheme. All right, I'm about to begin. You just watch. Don't make a sound. Master Sudan's face grew serious. Alchemy requires seamless precision. Even the slightest mistake won't do. You nodded, quietly stood aside. Master Sudan turned on the fire valve. With a boom, the blazing earth fire surged instantly. He took out all kinds of spirit herbs and started extracting the medicinal embryos. You widened your eyes, carefully observing his every move. It was an extremely skillful refining technique. Smooth as flowing water. Absolutely silky. In no time at all the embryos were refined. Their quality and purity were far beyond yours. Then came the ingredient mixing stage. With a casual grab, he measured the precise amount to the millimeter. That step alone takes you most of a day. But he finished in just 15 minutes. That's the difference. Now comes the main event. He formed a hand seal and flicked gently. The raging earth fire instantly became gentle. You watched his amazing fire control technique, feeling a burning curiosity. Once everything was ready,
He raised his hand.
the embryos flew into the pill furnace. You stared without blinking, afraid of missing any details. Time passed little by little. Sudan was confused. While controlling the fusion of the medicine embryo, his expression became increasingly serious. Finally, he reached the last step. You held your breath. Right at that moment, suddenly a puff of black smoke came out of the pill furnace. Even this failed. You couldn't help but feel regret. This batch of spiritual materials must be worth hundreds of spirit stones. But Sudan's expression remained unchanged. As if he had expected this, he calmly cleaned out the pill residue and unhurriedly started the second attempt. He had prepared more than 10 sets of materials in total. Failed the second time. Failed the third time. Kept practicing up to the 12th time. It was already late at night. Sudan's forehead was covered with sweat. His nerves were tense. Finally, the Julan furnace made a crisp ringing sound. A rich, overwhelming fragrance of pills instantly filled the air. Sudan was overjoyed at his success. With a wave of his hand, 6 azure-colored spiritual pills spun into his hand. You stared eagerly at those few pills, swallowed nervously. This thing, just one, could fetch a sky-high price of over 1,000 spirit stones at the auction house. This also means Sudan has successfully advanced as a top-grade alchemist. Congratulations, Master Sudan. You timely offered your congratulations. Master Sudan was in a very good mood. Put away the purification pills. He took out another jade bottle and tossed it to you. Those present have a share. You took it and looked.
It was a gathering spirit pill.
Thank you, Master Sudan. Compared to the pills, witnessing the entire pill refining process this time was the most valuable gain for you, Qin Taoist, in the coming year. I need to consolidate top-grade pills. Refining them, Su Yuking. Master Sudan said, you continue helping me plant spiritual herbs. But you immediately smiled, Su brother. What do you need planted? Just tell me. Su Yuking looked at you, a bit surprised. Then he relaxed and said, that's right. Taoist Qin has exceptional talent in the Lingyi discipline. No need to be too reserved in the future. Just call me Brother Su. Okay, Brother Su, this time you need to plant 2 kinds. First tier mid-grade Lingyi, Hanyang grass and Ling Lord fruit. He took out 2 packets of seeds and handed them to you. You took them and looked. One packet held 20 to 30 black grass seeds. The other held more than 10 peanut-sized fruits. Su Yuking looked at you with a cheerful smile. These 2 spiritual plants. Taoist Qin, do you recognize them? You thought for a moment, then nodded and said, of course I know. Hanyang grass has wide uses, but the Ling Lord fruit is highly toxic, with jagged leaves, needs to be nourished with poisonous insects. And both spiritual plants have strict requirements for spiritual energy, unless watered with advanced spirit rain techniques on a first-tier spiritual vein. It's extremely difficult to mature. Su Yuking admired you, patting your shoulder. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. So it's not easy to plant mid-grade spiritual herbs, regardless of the harvest. I can promise you one thing. Your eyes lit up, without any hesitation. Deal. The next morning, you carried your spiritual hoe and went to the spirit fields. 8 acres of spirit fields. You planned to plant 3 acres of spirit rice, 3 acres of beast fang rice. The remaining 2 acres would be for Hanyang grass and Ling Lord fruit. Within half a day, you had finished planting all 8 acres and performed the ultimate spirit rain technique once. Winter passed and spring came. You returned to the spirit fields. In the golden rice fields, several streaks of magnetic strips flickered. Name: Golden Spirit Rice, Magnetic Strip, Weak Magic, Maturity 2%. Name: Golden Spirit Rice, Magnetic Strip, Weak Magic, Maturity 3%. Name: Beast Fang Rice, Weak Bloodline Attribute by 5. Maturity 1%. Name: Beast Fang Rice, Maturity Accelerator by 5. Maturity 2%. And in the 2 newly opened forest fields, 3 attribute bars appeared. Name: Hanyang Grass, Weak Soul Force by 5. Maturity 1%. Name: Hanyang Grass, Maturity Accelerator X5, Maturity 2%. Name: Ling Lord Fruit, Regeneration Spirit Seeds X3, Maturity 2%. Regeneration Spirit Seeds,